pathway to capping. So for those of you that may have questions as far as what exactly did I sign up for when it came to capping, because you have to agree to a capping program that makes sense for your business. So we're going to go over that, and we're going to go over what activities you need to do in order to fulfill that promise that you made to yourself, the office, but ultimately to your dreams of achieving success. So what is capping? Well, capping is when an associate within the market center has actually paid 30% of their gross commission income, or GCI. So whenever we hear, hey, what was your GCI for last year? Once we cover or have paid at least 30% of that gross to the market center, which usually it's about $103,000. And we've paid successfully 6% in the GCI, totaling $3,000 to Keller Williams, then we will get 100% moving forward up until your anniversary date. So the number of transactions needed to cap will definitely vary based on the average sales price. But if we use an example of $500,000 and the average commission is 2.5, the average check is going to be around $12,500. Well, guess what? We're probably going to need about 8 transactions to cap. If we have 365 days, I know for a fact that we can find at least 8 clients that have a need to buy, sell, invest, and we are on our way to capping. So after the associate caps, they will get 100% of their GCI. So once we cap, let's pretend that we all cap here, and Caesar just closed another escrow and he gets a $20,000 paycheck. Most likely, all of that will be his, unless there's other fees involved. But capping means once you're done fulfilling your responsibilities of the split of the office and the market center and KW, you will be capping. Now, what is an anniversary date? The anniversary date is usually the day following the day you were hired. So the example right here mentioned, if you joined Keller Williams on the 30th of May, you have an anniversary date of April the 1st of the following year. So you have a full year to close 8 transactions. And we've all seen and can attest that the market has changed. There's buyers out there. There's people that want to sell. How quickly can I cap? Because I want to get 100% of that paycheck, and so how long is it going to take me? Well, this is entirely up to the agent, and the more homes you sell, obviously the faster we're going to cap. But that's also going to be determined by, again, the classes you attend, the trainings, if you're in coaching, what are you going to take advantage of, and also the activities that we all have to do, which, by the way, we're going to break down the activities, the phone calls, the contacts, the appointments, based on the capping model that you've selected. So remember, real estate is a contact sport, and one must speak to a lot of people in order to get big results. So we were sharing a few days ago that before we say that phone calls don't work, we have to do 2,000 of them, 2,000 phone calls. Because I hear time and time again real estate agents say, I tried phone calls and man, it didn't work for me. 3 options for capping plans. We have created 3 capping models for you to choose from. And the more you do, the more you follow up, and the more you follow the plan, the quicker you are going to cap, which we, as the leadership here at KW Lakes, we want everybody to cap. We want to make sure that all of you fulfill that dream and start making the money that you were meant to make. So the plans are based on people that are in productivity coaching. Now, does it mean that you cannot cap without a coach? Absolutely not. It just may take you a little longer. So just keep that in mind. Also, the results are not guaranteed because, again, you may cap shorter time than the 4 months. It depends on how hungry are we, how committed are we. It might take you a little longer to cap. So don't feel bad that instead of 9, it took you 11. I mean, we got to evaluate what exactly got in the way. Once you've picked a capping plan, What the agents are going to do is you get to sign it, because when you sign something, guess what you're doing? We're committing. We're committing to something. So once you sign and date it, a copy of the plan, of the capping plan, is going to be put into our file. And this will be our commitment. The coach, the leadership, our operations principal, we are going to hold you accountable to that commitment so that you can reach your goals. Because I've noticed and I've seen that when you sign something and you date it, now there's a deadline. Now it's not just a dream, now it's a goal. We are more intentional. I've used that word more than ever. Intentional. There's a purpose. I want to sell 8 homes and I want to do it before April the 1st of 2026. Well, now there's a deadline, there's intent, there's some definite goals. Instead of, I just want to sell a bunch of houses. Well, how many is a bunch? Everybody here is going to have a different answer. So the team leaders and many others here are going to encourage you, but also hold you accountable to the commitments to you reaching that goal. Here's option number 1. This is the aggressive one. Capping in 4 months. Example could be September through December. And again, results will vary, but this is based on agents that have capped in 4 months and what they've been able to do. How did they get there? So number 1, it mentioned attend scripts practice, because I've seen time and time again that when you practice your scripts, believe it or not, it does work. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing with some of the agents here at the office, it's because we have been practicing for 60 plus days, and now we're starting to see the needle move on a consistent basis. So if you want to see results in December, you gotta put in the work now. You're not gonna do the work in September and see the results in September. If it takes 30 to 45 days to close an escrow once you have a listing, well, how long did it take us to get the listing? How long did it take for us to nurture the lead? So just keep that in mind. Practice lead generation scripts. Again, how do we get confident at doing an activity? Practice lead generation scripts and objection handlers. There will be clients that are going to give you objections. Lead generate on the phone Monday through Friday every week at the market center from 9 to 1. This has been provenly tested. It's already been provenly tested, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. If we generate and prospect Monday through Friday from 9 to 1 religiously, you will get results. This is again from agents that have capped in 4 months doing exactly this. So all of these activities should be non-negotiable to your business. We want you to succeed, but we have to shift the mindset that this is our business. We are the CEOs of our business. Lead follow-up on all the leads. The amount of time will depend on what? The number of leads. If you did an open house and you had a blessed open house, God willing, we're going to have a ton of leads. Don't follow up 5-6 days later. Follow up the same day. A lead follow-up could be 30 to 60 minutes, but again, depending on what? The number of leads. Time block at least 3 hours in the afternoon to go to appointments. When we're talking about having a schedule, you might say, Coach, I don't have appointments. Okay, but if we don't block appointment time, when you do have them, guess what we're going to say? I can't meet with you because I'm busy. Well, if we block it, you're blocking it for a purpose. You're blocking it because you know, I will be booking appointments. We talked about intention. We talked about shifting your mindset and being more intentional and purposeful with your activities. But we are not going to leave here without 2 leads. And that was the intention. That was the focus. It wasn't just, I'm going to pass out flyers, and once I get rid of them, I did what I had to do. No, I'm going to pass out the flyers, but my goal is I will generate 2 leads, and if not, I won't leave. Don't stop believing that this will work. Don't stop believing in yourself, and keep going, keep showing up. Number 7, time block at least 3 hours in the afternoon to go to appointments. Number 8, host a minimum of 3 open houses per week. Again, we got to do a lot of activities. It's September. Winners keep score. whether you started in January or you started in July, how many open houses year to date have I done? Remember, winners keep score. We should know and be able to keep track of how many open houses have we done. If we haven't done an open house, ask yourself, why? Some of the reasons might be what, Brother Derek?
Oh, they range from here to there. It's too tired. I got something going.
You see?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're not valid.
Yeah, I gotta walk my dog.
See? I don't have signs, so I can't do open houses, sorry. Borrow.
Yes.
Borrow signs.
I did.
There's no shame in borrowing. So host 3 of them a week. Last open house that I did I door knock and invited the neighbors. And if today is Thursday and our open house is Saturday, guess when you have to door knock and invite the neighbors? ASAP. And another thing that you can do to maximize that is call the neighbors and let them know. Hi neighbor, my name is Derek. I'm with Keller Williams the Lakes. Hey, listen, I'm going to be hosting an open house at your neighbor's house, and I would love to personally invite you. Maybe get some feedback on the house. Let me know if it's properly priced. Maybe you know somebody that might want to move into the neighborhood. You can actually pick your own neighbor. We're actually going to be there from 2 to 4. I'd love to see you there. The better the question, the better the answer. Speak with a minimum of 200 people by phone or in person every week. Every week. Now, some of them might say, wow, that's a lot of work. Well, capping in 4 months is literally doing the work that would have taken you a year, and you just condensed it into 4 months. You're doing it in a third, actually, yeah, 33 and a third of the time. So 200 people every week. It could be over the phone. It could be parking yourself at the Cardenas. It could be open houses. It will be hot. But at the end of the day, how would you like to get 15, 20 leads a week? How is your conversion rate? Meaning, low efficiency might be somebody that might not have the experience. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's just that you're newer to the game and you haven't practiced the scripts at a level like a Sophia, an Arlen, a Gabe, a Hector, a Jonathan. And they might be on the high efficiency side. So example, low efficiency might take you 125 contacts to get a listing. Now, this is what I wanted to mention. 125 contacts doesn't mean I dialed the phone 125 times. It's I had 125 what? Conversations. If you know that you're new, and it's going to take you 125 contacts or conversations to book a listing appointment, and Haiti says, well, my goal is to get 4 listings. Guess how many contacts she has to do? 500. 125 times 4. The path is in the math. What do we mean by that? Numbers will tell you the story. I want to get 4 listings a month, coach. Okay, well, if we're newer and it's going to take us 125 conversations to book 1 listing appointment and you want to have 4, well, then do 500 contacts and you will book 4. Now, out of those 4, if we're newer, how many listings will we take? We might take half of those. And as we get better, we might take 90% of them. But give yourself some grace. And then it even waters it down even more. 6 contacts per hour. If we work 33 hours. Some of us were here at the mastermind with Sophia, the $1 Million Mastermind, and she talked about how many hours do we actually work per week. Some of us were here, some of us were not, but we saw the video. Hopefully you guys saw the 6-7 minute video that I was able to record, because it wasn't recorded. So if you were not here, a lot of the content may not resonate. But one of the things that Sophia was asking is, be true to yourself and ask yourself, how many hours did you work last week? Because again, if we're tracking our numbers and we're being true to ourselves, we're going to be like, man, I worked 3 hours. In order to cap in 4 months, we got to do 125 contacts to get 1 listing appointment. We got to get approximately 6 conversations per hour. And if we work 33 to 34 hours a week, that is working about 7 hours of lead gen per day. Now, some of us might say, well, that's pretty intense, coach. Capping in 4 months is pretty intense. Medium efficiency. That means that, hey, you've been working on your scripts, you've got some experience, you've got on some listing appointments, you've booked them. Now it may not take you 125 contacts to one listing. It's going to take you half, 75. So once you start getting a little bit more experience, then you know that 75 contacts to one appointment. If you want to go on 43 listing appointments for the year, well, there it is. 43 listing appointments in 4 months. That's about almost 11 a month. Again, don't get discouraged and intimidated, because I know the numbers could get super crazy. That's if you're working at an efficiency of somewhere in the middle. You got some experience. You're talking 8 contacts, 8 conversations per hour. If you work 25 hours a week, remember, the first one had to work 34 to get to those numbers. But when you're more efficient, now you only work 25 hours, because now your conversion ratio is better. Now you cut the workload in half. Now you do 75 to one book appointment. Before it would take you 125. And the high efficiency is now you're absolutely on fire. Now you're calling people, and after every 35 conversations, you're gonna get a yes, come and list my house. So once you're tracking these numbers, you can actually predict, well, if I want 4 of them and I'm in the middle efficiency, okay, so I gotta do about 300 conversations to book 4. Okay, you know what we have to do. It's not that crazy. On the high efficiency, 35 contacts to one appointment, we want to go into 103 listing appointments in 4 months. Okay, 10 contacts per hour, work 20 hours per week. It's all here. The path is in the math. Option B, let's say you say, you know what, I don't want to get all intense, and I don't think I can do it in 4, but I'm going to shoot for 6. Cap in 6 months. That's option number 2. Again, attend scripts practice at least 3 days, whereas option number 1 was every day. Attend weekly coaching sessions. Definitely attend the Tuesdays and Thursdays KW trainings that are open to anyone. Like these classes are free. Anybody can and should attend. I always encourage everybody, hey, we're going to have this class. I think you would benefit. This is open for everybody. Practice your listing presentation. Remember, now KW has made a deal with Canva, and now we have a pro version of Canva. And guess what? There's already templates for listing presentations where all you got to do is literally put your picture, your info, and all the pages are already pre-sorted, already pre-made. Once you have a pre-listing or a listing presentation or a buyer presentation, you can email it to clients, you can text it to clients, you can print it and have like a master copy, so that when you go to a listing appointment, you can send that to them ahead of time, so that they know about the company, they know about you, and the listing appointment is only there, what? I'm just gonna go over to the CMA. Now it's not a 4-hour appointment where they're like, you know what, we're gonna think about it, Veronica. And it's not that we wanna think about selling it, we wanna think about our choice of why the heck we invited you. Because this wasn't supposed to be a marathon. The pre-listing is, Veronica, I'm gonna send you my pre-listing package. If you could do me a favor and review it with you and your family. If you have any questions, write them down so that we can go over them. And then when I get there, I'm gonna say, Veronica, did you and your family got a chance to go over my listing package? Yeah. Do you have any questions? A lot of times, guess what they say? I don't. KW has been around since '83. They're the biggest company on planet Earth. Your team is pretty legit. Your office has been around for 10 plus years. Your leadership has 20 plus years of experience each. I don't have any questions. Great. Now let's go over the numbers. Let's go over the market. And the CMA is not going to take more than 20 minutes. They're not, the objections are gone. So again, if you don't have a listing presentation, I would encourage everybody to get one. On the 6-month cap, we are going to hold 2 open houses instead of 3. Level 1 was 3 open houses a week. This one is 2 per week. Speak with a minimum of 150 people by phone or in person. Option 1 was 200. So again, the path is in the math. If you want to do chicken tortilla soup like I did yesterday, guess what you got to do? Follow the recipe. I didn't have to change the recipe. I've already done chicken tortilla soup. I don't have to do a different recipe every time I make it. Just follow the ingredients and what to cook, what to boil first, and the proof is going to be there. So host a minimum of 2 open houses, speak with a minimum of 150 people, asking for business. There it is, the key word, being intentional and having a goal. If I call Brother Derek and he's one of my expired listings, I'm calling with what? An intent. Mr. Homeowner, I noticed that your house is not being marketed, and I'm just wondering, are you still accepting offers? What is the goal? Book an appointment. I want to get in front of you so that I can show you how different I am. Now, if some of you hear the phrase, I don't want to deal with realtors because you guys are all the same, what would you guys say? Veronica, if somebody were to call you and say, or you call a seller lead, and they're like, no, I don't want to hire a realtor. I'm going to try to sell it on my own because you guys are all the same. What would we say? That's a very common objection. And we are going to get that objection. Remember, 8% of all licensed agents, only 8% go after listings. But that 8% controls the other 92. That 8% hires the other 92. He or she who has the inventory controls the game. So start shifting your mind that I gotta get listings. I gotta get listings. You wanna have predictable income? Go after listings. Expires, for sale by owners, just listed phone calls, just sold phone calls. Call your SOI, sphere of influence, and say, hey Caesar, I know you own a home. Just curious, would you be interested in a free home evaluation? What if he says yes? Great, present it and then say, hey, Caesar, I know you mentioned that you don't want to sell, but if you were to sell, where would you go? What if he says, well, hey, I mean, if I can get this, we can have a conversation. Great. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be in your area tomorrow, Caesar. I'm going to be visiting 2 of your neighbors because 2 of them decided to take on the free market evaluation offer, and I'm going to be in your area at 2 p.m. Maybe I could stop by at 2:30 if that's okay with you. Just have a chat. There it is. Real estate is a contact sport. So if we're not talking to enough people, we're not moving the needle. The more conversations you have, the greater the chances you have at talking to the right person. Yesterday, Katie and I were at the Cardenas, and one gentleman, younger gentleman, he probably wasn't even 30 years old. He literally took a flyer from me, and he's like, I heard you talk about real estate. True story, by the way. And I said, yeah. He goes, can I have a flyer for my mom? I said, where's your mom? He was coming out of the laundromat. I said, is she here? He's like, no, she's at home, but I want her to talk to you. Can I call you? I said, please do. They're there. He didn't say, what are the rates, by the way? Speak to a minimum of 150 people. And here are the activities. Option B, cap in 6 months, 150 conversations a week for 26 weeks. Now you might say, Coach, why 26 weeks? Well, that's 6 months. We want to cap in 6 months. That means that we have to condense a year into 6 months. So all the activities that we were going to do in a year, guess what? Guess what we're going to do? Cut it in half. Because we want to cap in 6 months so that the other 6 months are just all gravy. If we're in the newer efficiency, it's going to take us 125 conversations to a listing. If we want to get 30 listing appointments in 6 months, then we got to talk to 6 people per hour. Very simple. 25 hours a week and lead generate 5 hours a day. Again, the path is in the math. Winners keep score. Follow your numbers. It'll tell you. If you're somewhere in the middle and you've been practicing your scripts, practicing your objection handling, it's not going to take you 125 conversations for a listing appointment. It's going to take you 75. And now you can go to more appointments and be more efficient. If you're in the high efficiency, it might take you 35 contacts to get a come and list my house. It's a numbers game. It's like if you play basketball or baseball or football. Not every carry is going to be a touchdown. Not every basket or every shot is going to be a basket. But the more you practice, the more efficient you'll be. It's in the numbers. 10 contacts per hour, 15 hours a week. How would you like to absolutely crush it in your business? But because you were so intentional, you only work 15 hours. And you're still making $200,000-$300,000 a year. What business can give us, or what company, what 9 to 5 can say, hey, Mara, you're gonna work 15 hours and I'm gonna pay you $200,000. Sure, we will all sign up. But real estate can. We don't need a PhD, we don't need a master's, we don't need a doctorate, we don't need anything crazy. We don't even have to be bilingual. Just do the numbers, select your plan, commit to the activities, show up every single day, and you're gonna win. It's proven. Here are the activities for 9 months. Again, it doesn't matter if you cap in 4, 6, or 9. The goal is to cap. Attend scripts practice. Scripts practice are Tuesdays and Thursdays and are open to anyone. Because I still keep hearing, well, I haven't come to the classes because I only thought that they were for coaching. No, we want all of you to win. We want all of you to cap. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 to 9:30, put it on the schedule. Attend every PC group coaching session, if applicable. Practice your lead generation. Again, if we're not out there hunting for business and prospecting, at least, look at this, at least 9 to 11. Option 1 was 9 to 1, 2 hours. If we were to go to a job, Mara, how many hours do you think we would work if we had 40 hours? 8? 8. Now, Veronica, if we were at a job for 8 hours, do you think all the activities that they're going to want us to do, are we going to be thrilled and excited to do them? Well, I mean, maybe it is, but let's say you work at a 9 to 5, and your supervisor is going to say, I need you to do this, this is your quota, we need you to do this. Not everything that they're going to tell you, you're going to be excited. But what is the end result? I need to get that paycheck, so I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do, even though I know I can't stand calling.
Of course, but you have the pressure that you need to do it.
If you want the check.
Yes.
So why not put the pressure on something that's going to work for you? Right here it says, just generate for 2 hours. Over here you got to do stuff that you don't want for 8. Just do lead generation from 9 to 11. And then it says right here, lead follow-up at least an hour, time block 2 hours in the afternoon to go to appointments, door knock 100 doors per open house, do a minimum of 2 open houses per week. So again, ask yourselves, it's September, month is almost over. How many open houses did I do this month? How many open houses did I do in August? Because the numbers don't lie. Yeah. If you track your activities, you'll be like, okay, I've only done one open house this year. But yet you keep telling yourself that open houses don't work, but you've done 1. Not enough? Now if you've done 1,000 and you tell me that they don't work, I would personally volunteer to shadow you at an open house. And not because I want to be mean, but I want to know. Prove me that after doing 1,000 open houses, this activity doesn't work. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see how you converse. I want to see what kind of questions you ask. I want to see your body language. I've seen agents where I go to open houses and guess what they're doing? Sitting somewhere in a corner with their phone. They don't engage. They don't ask, hey, are you an agent? Are you a buyer? How did you hear about the open house? Welcome. It's absolutely dead. That agent is going to go to their office and say, my open house was absolutely atrocious. Well, if there was a camera following you, What would that camera show us? How did you prepare? Speak to a minimum of 125 people per week. Per week. So if we want to work 5 days, divide that into 125. Super easy. The path is in the math. And here are the activities. Again, 125 contacts per week. Times 36 weeks, because that's the time that we want to do. We got to have 4,500 conversations. But don't get overwhelmed with the 4,500 and think that you got to do that in a month. 125 per week. That's 250. That's 500 a month. But how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Don't try to think, I got to do 4,500 phone calls in a month. But can you do 125 in a week? Divided by 5, what would that number be? Who has a calculator? 125 contacts or conversations. Divide that in a week. 5 days. 25 a day. In bold, we were doing 20. It wasn't that crazy. And we had to track our numbers. And we had to report them. And if we didn't report them, we wouldn't start the class, because they would say, you need to report the numbers in front of 150 people live. It wasn't optional. It was a non-negotiable. But those that did bold, those that did the activities and tracked everything, I was hearing some success stories. And one lady opened 11 escrows. I had another story where somebody booked, had 7 VRBC signed in just those 6 weeks. I'm like, okay, well, this is attainable. So 125 contacts to get one listing. We want to get 36 listings, appointments in 9 months. Divide that into the number of months that you're going to work. Look at the contacts per hour. 6. If you're in the medium efficiency, you're going to need 8. And if you're in the super high, you're going to do 10 per hour. But it boils down to how is your game? Are we practicing? And if we don't come to practice, are we practicing at home? High efficiency. The more you practice, eventually you're not going to need 125 conversations for a yes. You might need 35. Or you might get really, really good where you're making 20 calls to a yes. That depends on us, on how serious we want to take our business. Hopefully today gave everybody a better understanding as to what is capping, how long does it need to take, which program is better for me, because the goal is not to overcommit and say, I want to cap in 4. Okay, it's going to require you to be available and have your real estate hat on and be here at the office to do the activities. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, so then plan A of 4 months might not be for you at this time. Somebody might say, well, I could do the 6 months. Okay, are you available to commit to doing 2 open houses a week instead of 3? Oh, I can't do that. My weekends are sacred. I'm gonna go have fun. Okay? The thing with us in real estate is that we often wanna see or ask, what can I do in lieu of this? I don't wanna do the phone calls, coach. Is there anything else that I can do to replace that?